hang it up, hang it up. I'm not being biased. If I'm 100, if Tank got his ass whooped, I'm gonna say, you know what? He got his ass whooped.
You know, that Tank is over. He had the lessons, getting his lessons of what he got to do to take us the rest away.
This former world champion boxer is accusing Gervonta Davis of ruining the sport.
Floyd Mayweather has shared his reasons for why he believes this marks the end of Gervonta Tank Davis's rise. He pointed out that Tank's recent fight against Lamont Roach clearly showed that Davis has lost his allure and no longer has the drive to become one of the greatest boxers in the world.
His ass whooped. Easy fight from what I see. And did the guy come out aggressive? I say it probably was 4 rounds the guy could have got, but 8 rounds he's getting outboxed. Turn. The name of the game is boxing. The name of the game is not slugging, because when the fight game is over, when boxing is all over, and you hang it up like me.
Meanwhile, Tank Davis has openly expressed his belief that Floyd Mayweather never wanted any fighter to surpass him. In a recent interview, Davis said, "Floyd never wanted anyone to be better than him." This sentiment reveals Davis's view on Mayweather's attitude towards potential successors in the boxing world. The dynamics between a mentor and a protege can often become tense, particularly when the protege's success starts to rival that of the mentor. Davis's comments suggest a rivalry based on competitiveness and a desire to preserve one's legacy.
First of all, Floyd don't never want to see no one like a fighter do better than them. How the say Terrence Crawford should fight? Finna be there. That don't make no fucking sense. You don't never want to see nobody be better than him. I'm telling you. You don't never.
Is there like the last question, guys? Is there like a love-hate for like
yeah,
fighter?
Yeah, I love the fighter. Like, I ain't gonna lie, if he was like chill, like he'll be the smoothest, but he's not. You know what I mean? He's a great fighter. And my bad. Cause I don't want to say like he's just a scumbag, but it's like he's a great fighter, and sometimes he can be good, but it's like it's always I'm this.
Holly Malagi, a former world champion, has criticized Gervonta Davis, claiming that Tank has damaged the sport of boxing. Malagi's remarks contribute to a broader debate on the state of boxing and the impact of contemporary fighters on the sport's integrity. Such criticisms are often driven by concerns about the commercialization of boxing and the departure from its traditional values. Malagi's perspective adds to the ongoing discussion on the direction in which modern boxing is heading.
This former world champion boxer is accusing Gervonta Davis of ruining the sport. What do you guys think? And who do you think the former world champion is? It's none other than Paulie Malignaggi, or I don't know how to say his name, honestly. I just know that he had that whole thing with Conor McGregor, and then he couldn't even beat Artem Lobov in bare knuckle boxing. So take his words with a grain of salt. But obviously, I do agree with him to some extent. Gervonta Davis has all the skills in the world, but he's not taking the most competitive fights, you know? Lamont Roach, if he had made 4 or 5 defenses at 135, you'd be selling me a little bit. I'd be curious. But no, you're just recycling the same champion. You're not even progressing. You're killing the sport to line your pockets. I defend the sport. I want the best matchups possible. You're not going to entertain me with the B-level matchups just because they're pay-per-views, which makes a lot of sense. You know what I mean? I'm not paying for it. You know, I'm going to stream it like I would think most people are. But yeah, Gervonta Davis, I wouldn't say he's ruining the sport. I think Floyd Mayweather ruined the sport, because every boxer after him just wants to get the easiest fight with the most amount of money.
Some professionals have suggested that Floyd Mayweather may have been jealous of Tank Davis. This accusation points to potential tension in their relationship, indicating that Mayweather's competitive nature may have extended into his role as a mentor. Jealousy in mentor-protege relationships can cause conflicts, especially when the protege's growing success threatens the mentor's legacy.
You actually need to be thankful that your product got pushed out there, because had it not been, Tank might have been fighting in rinky-dink boxing clubs, bruh. We may have never got the opportunity to know who Tank Davis really was. So let's go ahead and start there. Now, Tank, early on, you heard him. He only getting about 10 racks a fight. Floyd is making it to where, yeah, I'm gonna get your mama out this hood, but I'm gonna have you on your knees crawling back to me. You feel me? You're gonna have to get in where you fit in to really earn this bag the same way I did. But what I think was happening was I think that Floyd Mayweather Jr. was getting a little tad bit jealous of Tank. He saw the potential. He knew what dude was capable of. And when you got a fighter like Tank Davis, you don't put him in a position to take a L. You put him in a position to win every fight, to grow the brand. Ultimately, this is your product. Ultimately, you're getting money off of this.
After Gervonta Davis's fight against Lamont Roach, many fans voiced their disappointment. Questioning Davis's boxing skills, observers noted that Roach, a lesser-known boxer, was able to challenge Davis in a significant way, raising concerns about Davis's preparation and overall ability. This unexpected performance gap has sparked discussions about Davis's training methods, focus, and future in the sport. Fans and analysts alike are now reassessing their expectations for Davis's career.
So Tank Davis versus Lamont Roach goes to a majority decision draw, with Tank retaining his WBA lightweight title. Now, I did not score this fight a draw. I had it 7-5 to Lamont Roach. I thought he had the ring generalship and effective pressure. He was landing the jab and effective combinations. Tank, as usual, had a very low output, and he was relying on one big shot. I gave Roach the first 3 rounds, Tank the next 3 rounds, and then Roach 4 the last 6 rounds to win the fight. Not to mention, Tank did take a knee in the middle of the fight. By rule, that should have been considered a knockdown. Yes, it was to get his mouthpiece, and that's why they didn't rule it a knockdown. But anytime a fighter takes a knee, that's a knockdown. And that would have given Roach 1 more point to win the fight. Now, I'm sure they'll run it back. Lamont Roach absolutely deserves a rematch. He just had the fight of his life. He wasn't scared to go toe-to-toe with Tank. Landing his combinations, the bigger counters, and the more effective shots. He definitely deserves a second payday. Now, in the co-main event, Gary Antoine Russell put on an amazing performance. I think he won 11 or 12 rounds against Rayo Valenzuela. Great hand speed, good combinations, masterclass to win the WBA title. And then in the featured bout, Alberto Puello beat Sandor Martin to retain his WBC title. He landed the cleaner left hands, definitely won the last 2 to 3 rounds to edge the fight. But overall, good card. I do think Roach won the fight though.
The boxing community has observed a double standard regarding career decisions. When Floyd Mayweather left Bob Arum's promotion, it was widely accepted. However, when Gervonta Davis chose to leave Mayweather Promotions, he was labeled disrespectful. This discrepancy highlights the challenges fighters face when making career moves. The varying reactions suggest that perceptions in the industry are shaped by a fighter's status and the narratives built around their decisions.
When Floyd left Bob Arum, it's good for them to do it and become their own boss. And then if another guy does it, it's not good for the sport. He's disloyal. And what's wrong with Tank saying he want to be his own boss? And honestly, I've been there. The relationship between them two is very toxic. It's a toxic relationship. It's up and down and up and down. And I'm not going to elaborate to everything that I know, but it's a very toxic relationship. And that's why when I tweet stuff, I don't tweet often, but when I tweet, I may fire off 50 tweets in the day. And that's why when I tweeted certain things about the relationship, Tank retweeted it because he knows. Like, I'm not just going to say what it is. It's a very toxic relationship. It's back and forth. And I think it will serve him best to go and be his own boss.
Adrian Broner revealed that Gervonta Davis confided in him about his dissatisfaction with the support he received. Broner stated that he couldn't share more details until Davis decided to speak out publicly. This revelation suggests that Davis may have felt uncomfortable with certain aspects of his career from the start. Such feelings of discontent can have a significant impact on a fighter's performance and mental well-being, emphasizing the importance of a supportive environment in professional sports.
No, I haven't talked to him about it, but we talked about it before. We talked about it a few times, but now that he is doing his own thing, I hope the best for him, and I hope he is big as the world. I don't care, I just want to do good.
He keeps alluding that there was something wrong there, that he wasn't happy with the support that he was getting. Is there something there from what he's saying, from what your relationship with him?
That's not really for me to come out and talk about. I'll wait until he's comfortable with saying and letting people know his business. But now that he's on his own, I hope it works.
Davis has openly shared his earnings from fights, an area where Floyd Mayweather had previously maintained secrecy. by revealing his financial information. Davis aims to demonstrate his independence and transparency. This move challenges traditional norms in boxing, where financial matters are typically kept private.
A lot of you guys are talking about what Gervonta Tank Davis said, talking about him pricing himself out, saying that he won 150 M's for his rematch with Ryan Garcia. Y'all want to know what I think about that whole video? It looks like Gervonta is on the outskirts. Listen, man, where everything is happening, dude, all these fights are being made over there. It just looks like Gervonta is on the outskirts looking for the perfect op. But at the same time, talking about how big of a brand he is, how much of a product he is, how much he's worth, 150 M's, you know what I mean? I get all that, but here's the thing. What I've been trying to say, us as boxing fans, we're very satisfied with the product we're getting. We get a lot of crazy matchups. And I'm going to tell you this again. The money isn't in the superstar, it's in the matchups. Case in point, Devin Haney, a product by himself, many people, it's proven that he's not a big pay-per-view star, right? But Devin versus Ryan Garcia is a big fight. Devin versus Teofimo Lopez is a big fight. You get what I'm saying?
Following their split, Gervonta Davis described Floyd Mayweather's behavior toward him as toxic. He implied that Mayweather's actions had a negative impact on both his personal and professional growth. The term toxic suggests an environment that hindered Davis's development. Such characterizations can influence public perception and highlight the difficulties athletes face in managing professional relationships.
Like, I gotta do that.
A lot of people don't know that what Floyd do. He said.
So you feel like it was a sub, like he was subbing you, like, oh, like
he was going at me. He was going at me, and I knew for sure he was going at me. That's why I went at him. There's no reason for me to go at Floyd.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. Cause it's weird. I feel like y'all got, I would say love hate, but it's been like the last interview you showed them love. This week it was whatever. But is that sometimes like, you know, is it just like big bro, little bro seeing things different, or what is it to you?
No, Floyd don't never. He felt as though I'm at that point where as though I passed him, and I'm doing it at a young age. Wait, like when Floyd was 29, you'll see, bro.
Yeah.
That deal that I'm talking about.
Yeah. Oh, that's a part of this
deal. He don't know about that yet, but that's bigger than his deal.
Damn. Wow.
And I'm just releasing
it's exclusive. That's exclusive. Bigger than Floyd deal?
Yeah.
Tank no cap, nigga. That's a lot of bread.
As tensions between Floyd Mayweather and Gervonta Davis became increasingly public, media outlets and fans speculated on the root causes of their conflict. Sean Porter commented, noting that a combination of personal issues, financial disputes, and professional disagreements created a complex narrative that captivated the boxing community.
It's public knowledge that Tank and Mayweather have had issues. It's public knowledge that they're not in a contract anymore. And it's public knowledge that Tank has moved on and is trying to, for the sake of words, separate himself from the umbrella of being under Mayweather. But Mayweather was there. Mayweather was there. Why wasn't? No. It wasn't because you wasn't trying to take away from a moment. It was because you weren't sure what that moment was going to look like.
Analysts have questioned the caliber of Gervonta Davis's opponents, suggesting that his promotional team may have carefully selected favorable matchups. This strategy could have limited Davis's exposure to more challenging opponents, potentially hindering his growth as a boxer. Critics argue that facing tougher opponents is crucial for a fighter's development and legitimacy in the sport.
Gervonta Tank Davis is one of the most overrated fighters in the sport of boxing right now, and not because of his skills, but because of his resume, and resume does matter. In my opinion, he's a victim of what I call Terrence Crawford syndrome, where you have a really bad promoter who only wants you to fight in promotion fighters who you know that they can 100% beat. If Tank Davis wants to be great, he's going to have to fight one of the other champions in the two divisions that he fights in, 135 pounds and 140 pounds. I'm going to list off all the champions in those divisions and tell you if I think he can beat them or not. So first we got the only other full champion in 135 pounds, Shakur Stevenson. If they fought, I think Tank has a good chance of maybe knocking him out in the later rounds, but if I had to bet my house on it, I would say Shakur Stevenson would beat him in a close decision, and it would end up probably being a boring fight. But I think Shakur has the skills to beat Tank Davis over a long 12-round fight. Now we have Subriel Matias, who's a scary Terminator-like fighter who gives up the early rounds to come on later and drown you in those later rounds, but he's very stiff and he doesn't have very good footwork at all. I think Tank Davis will probably, box his face off for most of the 12 rounds. There might be some trouble in the late rounds, but if Tank can stay out of trouble, I think this is one of the few champions that he would beat, but I don't think he would fight him.
From the beginning, Coach Calvin Ford has played a pivotal role in shaping Gervonta Davis's boxing career, serving as both his trainer and mentor. Ford's consistent guidance has been instrumental in developing Davis into the formidable boxer he is today. His influence extends beyond technical training, encompassing discipline, strategy, and mental fortitude.
Well-being as well as your boxing progress, who you have been invested with from the outset. Tank has been with Coach Calvin Ford since he was, I think 8 or 9, which is crazy. And the relationship that those two have is an enormous factor. Tank trusts Coach Calvin to give him the right advice, and that has been proven to be a good position, a good place to put your trust, because as of yet he hasn't given any bad advice. He's very calm in the corner. He knows when to tell Tank to turn it up. He gives him understandable advice, and he gives him very simple advice in the corner.
Calvin Ford has reflected on their journey, saying it has been crazy, but that his experience with Davis is now over. This statement suggests a sense of closure or transition in their professional relationship. Ford's comments may indicate shifts in their dynamic or in Davis's career direction. Transitions like these are common in sports, where evolving circumstances often lead to changes in mentorship and training approaches.
My journey's crazy. That's why I said this, yo, you can't write this, man. You cannot write this. My experience being gone and all the stuff that I went through preparing me for where I'm at today. That Tank is older. He had the lessons, getting his lessons of what he got to do to take us the rest of the way. And this is just take us the rest of the way fight.
Despite his success, opinions on Gervonta Davis's position in the boxing world remain divided. Some critics believe that casual fans overrate him, as they may not fully understand the intricacies of the sport. Conversely, others argue that boxing purists underrate him, recognizing the depth of his skill set. This contrast reflects the subjective nature of sports evaluation and the different criteria by which athletes are judged. Davis's career continues to be a subject of lively debate among fans and analysts.
He said Tank, he's still on the air? He said Tank is...
Hey, yo, they did Max Kellerman dirty for real, but go ahead, bro.
He said Tank is overrated by people that don't know boxing, and he's underrated by people that do know boxing. And
that's boss.
What he meant by that,
that's boss. I agree with that.
What he meant by that is that if you don't know boxing, you don't know who's Tank is.
Davis has openly expressed his disillusionment with the sport, calling boxing trash and stating that he no longer cares about titles or accolades. This shift in perspective has led him to contemplate stepping away from the ring sooner than expected. These sentiments reveal the pressures and challenges faced by professional athletes, including maintaining passion amid adversity.
So realistically, how much longer do you see yourself being a fighter? How many more years you think?
It depends. I got some people I want to get.
Like who?
I don't want to say their names, but...
Just say yes or no. Haney?
Yes.
Lomachenko?
Yes.
Teofimo?
Yes. Not really so much Teofimo.
Not so much.
Nah.
How come?
Because it's like, I don't know. Just, he ain't really like... I mean, if the fight like prevents itself, then yeah. But other than that,
it's not on your list.
Yeah, it's not on my. He's not.
Kambosos? No. Is there anyone I'm missing, or is that it?
Yeah, but I don't want to say his name.
Shakur?
Yeah.
That's another one.
At a relatively young age, Gervonta Davis has acknowledged the importance of mental health and the need to step back and focus on his well-being, even if it means leaving the sport he once loved. This recognition reflects a growing awareness among athletes about the importance of mental health. Davis's openness about his struggles may encourage others to prioritize their mental well-being and seek support when needed.
That's why I don't want to box no more. I want to do therapy, right? But
I feel as though if I do therapy, it will lose the fire that I have inside me. I want everything out of me where so I don't never think about fighting again. I don't think about even getting angry. You know what I mean? Because I have 2 girls, 2 daughters. I'm wanting to be much softer, you know what I mean? Be more humble and things like that.
Shout out to Tank Davis saying that he's going to go to therapy because he wants to soften up for his daughters and he wants to let go of the anger. And yes, although maybe the anger served him in his boxing career, it's not currently serving him now at the moment being a father. So shout out for Tank Davis. That's a real man. A real man is willing to be gentle in a tough, cruel world, right? It doesn't take much for us to be angry in the angry world. It takes a lot of courage for us to soften up and shine our light, whereas we've been in darkness our whole lives, or maybe our darkness got us to success, right? So like Tank Davis obviously became successful, put in the anger towards boxing, but now he's on this next level of life and stepping into his therapy era, which I love to see. So shout out to Tank Davis for stepping into your healing era. Let's go.